down your children's throat. That is talking about the Lord, not mantra lecture. God said do this. It's not, this verse says this, so do it, Johnny. No. They will hate the Bible that way. They will hate it that way. It is two-way communication of a family discussing the things of the Lord every day and often when it comes up. Listen, and we're done. It must be a most natural thing for you to talk about our wonderful Lord in your home. Amen. It must be most natural, not irrational, and not mantra, and not stone, and not cold. Don't force it. Don't fake it. But naturally allow the thoughts of the Lord to be incorporated in your home. In trips, in car, all the time. Have a God view in your children. Have a God view to your children and in your family. I'll tell you that made all the difference in my upbringing. And you may be surprised to know some of these things. My parents tried to be consistent on family devotions, but they were hit and miss like many of us are. But I remember hundreds of times of them having family devotions. But they rarely worked on Bible memory with us. We didn't have a one or whatever. But all the time in my upbringing, we lived life with God. All of the time. In a most natural way, the perspective of what God thought was part of the conversation. My parents believed and knew the Lord personally, and He walked in our home in their lips constantly. Their whole worldview was the Lord. They believed what they were saying. The decisions and perspectives and conversations were about verse number 5. They loved the Lord. And that will make all the difference. And that's so much different than just quantity. Daddies, you can't do that. You cannot talk all the time about the Lord. And this is what it means. It doesn't mean that you hang up pictures and posters all over your house that say Bible verses and say the Ten Commandments and all of this. And it doesn't mean you force all the religiosity. It means you live the Lord and love the Lord all of the time, and you're surrounded. Your worldview is the Lord in your home. You're always talking about verses most naturally. You're always talking about stories in the Bible and always talking about what God would think about this and that, not from a stone mantra, but out of love in a most natural way. Daddies, you can't do that over the devil talking out of your television all the time. You can't out-talk the devil. You can't do that if you're not available to your children. You can't do that if you are not focused on these things. If you're focused on your children performing, you can't be focused on your children performing and focused on them having a God view at the same time. There's much more I'd like to say. I'd love to take you to Psalm 1, but time will not allow. I'd like to tell you about the importance of your children having a Christian education. I would love to show you the atheism and humanism in the textbooks of our public schools. I'd love to tell you of my one-income family that had 4 children in Christian school at one time on just my dad's blue-collar salary. I would like to tell you that, the sacrifice and how important it was. But time won't allow. Daddies, tonight, God commands you to bring up your children with words that correct their heart. The word admonition is both positive and negative words that shape your children.